Today I'm going to be showing you guys some books that I typically lean towards when I feel a reading slump coming on or I'm actively in one. My reading this month has been phenomenal. I've been so into it. I'm reading like crazy, and with that I know a slump is coming. You gotta come down at some point. I really only have two categories of books that I know for sure will get me out of a reading slump. So to start, I have Pride and Prejudice. I collect the copies, and I believe this is my favorite one right now. More of like a gothic cover, which absolutely does not match the tone and the vibe of the book, but I don't care. I love this copy so much. It's an enemies to lover classic. I have nothing but good things to say about this. I watch the 2005 movie all the time. I watch the 1995 BBC miniseries all the time. I'm just obsessed with the story, and I think this story paved the way for a lot of other themes and tropes and stories that we see today. This is my first copy of Pride and Prejudice that got me excited and made me love it. The font is really small and tiny because it's a mass market. So what happened was I read it, I loved it, I wanted a bigger copy if I can. I didn't want to reread it with such little font. So then I bought a nice hardcover, and then I went to a bookstore and there was an annotated copy. And then I went to another bookstore and there's an illustrated copy. And then I went to another bookstore and there's an even prettier copy. And now I have 25. So it really snowballed and got out of control. Sticking with the Jane Austen train, we have Persuasion by her. These are actually the only two Jane Austen books I've read, which I do not think is acceptable, so I definitely have her other books on my list to complete. This one is called Persuasion. Guess what it's about? It's about a girl getting persuaded to not follow her heart. The man she loved didn't have a lot of money, but then some time passes, they go their separate ways. He becomes a sailor and a captain and has money and status, and she could have had that. She could have had that. Personally, I didn't find this to be like a difficult classic to read. I think it's definitely not the easiest, but you can do it. You can do it. The Picture of Dorian Gray. I bought this copy and then realized that there's an uncensored version, which I have not read, and I need to read that, and now I'm gonna have to buy another one, naturally, because I love the book, and if it got censored, that means it was really good, is how I see it. If you don't know what The Picture of Dorian Gray is, there's this young man, very young, very attractive, a bit vain, if you will. He gives up his soul to stay beautiful and young forever, and he has a painting of him made, and the painting ages, but not Dorian himself. And that's not natural, so then things happen, and you know, except you don't, because you might not have read it. But that's it's a good one, and I really recommend it. Okay, the last classic I have is tied with my favorite book. Animal Farm and Pride and Prejudice are my two favorite books. I believe this is 140 pages. It is such a good book. I cried. I think it's so powerful. It's a fable about a farm with animals on it. Crazy. It was written by George Orwell after Stalinist Russia and kind of the regime that happened there and how they were able to control and manipulate people. And they condensed it down, not they, he condensed it down into a fable about a farm. So powerful and important to see the manipulation that can happen. And I think it's relevant today. I truly, truly do. I think everyone should read this book. If I could force everyone to read a book, which is kind of against this book, I would force them to read this one. So yeah, read Animal Farm if you're cool. Okay, so now we're in my romance and contemporary section. I find classics to sometimes be hard-hitting. Like if I read Animal Farm or Brave New World, that makes me think and contemplate and gives me anxiety and makes me worry, and I compare it to the present day. So sometimes to follow that, I just need a cheesy romance book where I don't really have to think all that much. I can just be happy. I've read all of Allie Hazel books. I've read I've read all of I've read all of Allie Hazelwood's books except for Mate and Bride, I believe. I'm not huge on fantasy, and I just feel like that's a fall book. But I need to read those. So the next three I have are Allie Hazelwood. First is Check and Mate. It's a chess romance. It's a young adult. So I know other Allie Hazelwood books are like more spicy. This one isn't, and it's very sweet, and I really like this one. It's one of my go-tos. I like to take this one on vacation a lot. It's not very like summery or beachy, but we have Mallory and Nolan, and they're both really good chess players, and they're kind of rivals. It is a rivals to lovers romance. I think it's very cute. I think it's very sweet. I read this for the first time when I started learning how to play chess, which is maybe why I liked it a bit more, but I'm still bad at chess. The book does not teach you how to be good at chess, unfortunately. Okay, we have Love Theoretically. This is my favorite one of hers out of the Stimonist trilogy. We have Elsie and Jack, and I think this is my favorite book because of the plot, aside from the romance. Elsie's a theoretical physicist, and I'm not good at science. I don't know anything about science too much. But apparently, that's not like a super popular, super common, super respected field. But there's a fake dating trope, which isn't with the main male character, which I really do like. And then there's some academic sabotage that I found to be very interesting, and it was something I didn't expect. And I feel like in a contemporary romance, sometimes it's a little predictable, but I really enjoyed it. This is really up there for my go tos. The plot is good, so it's not just like a thoughtless, cheesy, kick my toes, butterflies in my stomach kind of romance, but there is a little bit more depth to it, I feel like. And I've read it 3 times, so I already know what's going on. So here is a collection of 3 novellas by Allie Hazelwood. For me, the Under One Roof one, it's this one. I believe that should have been a full-length novel. I loved it so much. I didn't care for the other 2 novellas as much, but this is like my go-to audiobook when I'm on a road trip. I believe the audiobook's only 4 hours long when I have it at 2 times speed, because I think all narrators talk slow. But basically, they both get left a house in a will, and they're kind of like enemies because she is an environmentalist and he works for big oil. So you can see where that gets a little awkward. An Ella Hazelwood book, so I'm sure you can guess how it ends, but I'm not going to tell you. This one's a fall book, so I don't know if I would really go back to it a lot. To me, this book goes along with like the Gilmore Girl vibes, the Hallmark vibes, the cozy fall vibes, but it has a lot more depth to where I was actually able to enjoy it and not just cringe, cringe, cringe. Kind of like, not to drag, but Pumpkin Spice Cafe. The vibes like are there, but I don't think it's like the best written book. Not saying this is the best written book, but I'd say it's a lot better than any other cozy small town fall book I've read. So I really do recommend this. I could see myself reading this every year in the fall. Summer in the City. This is another seasonal book that, again, I'll probably only ever read in the summer, but I read it at the end of last summer, or else I would have read it again because I really liked it. I had listened to it on audiobook, so I finally bought a copy from, I believe this is from Thrift Books. I feel like it looks a little fancy, but I don't think I paid full price for this, if I'm being honest. Anyways, our main character, she is a film writer and she's going to New York to write a big movie, and she's working on that. And then she meets this billionaire, but she doesn't know he's a billionaire, and they kind of get a little hot and heavy. and things go south and she hates him. It isn't enemies to lovers, but I didn't hate it. Like, that's not typically my favorite trope. I say that as if I didn't just say Pride and Prejudice first, but I really liked the character development. I grew to like both of the characters. This is like an enemies to lovers, a fake dating, a lovers to enemies. Like, there's a lot going on, and I think that's why I enjoyed it so much. And I hope I can keep my same positive review when I reread it. I know sometimes when I read something for the first time, especially in season, I get really like excited and I kind of can see past bad writing or annoying characters or just cringiness that I don't like. And I really hope that doesn't happen here because I think I had a really nice time reading this book in the summer. Thank you so much for watching. Like, that's so kind of you. If you have any go-to slump books, I would love to know. I need to diversify my reading, if you cannot tell. My friends and I just started a book club last night, and their reading tastes are a bit different from mine, which makes me excited because I'm gonna branch out and try other books and have other people to talk about it with, which forces me to read them because I'm not showing up to book club not reading a book. That's embarrassing. And if you're my friend watching this and you eventually don't read a book for book club, like, I'm just kidding, by the way. Bye.